P strategy. It's profits, energy, alignment, clarity, ease.
Capacity and ease.
Oh. Okay.
So close. So
Hey,
close.
welcome to episode 9 of the Nevada Entrepreneurs Podcast. I am here with my guest, Kayla Caldwell of KC Virtual Bookkeeping, right here in this nice office she has. Kayla, when did you start your bookkeeping services and why?
Oh, so I've been in bookkeeping for about 5 years now. Actually, we just had our 5-year anniversary, which only 50% of businesses hit that 5-year mark. So that was a pretty big milestone for us. And started for multiple reasons. It was started in the middle of COVID. So I wanted to spend more time with my son at home. And ultimately, when it comes to being a business owner and as an advisor, my biggest thing is putting our family first. So how do we build our businesses to do that? So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is my husband is also an entrepreneur. He had started his business right before COVID. We had to shut it down right after COVID. And then actually not a few months after I started my business, because I was able to replace his income with bookkeeping, we restarted again. So we are a double entrepreneur household. But when I went to do our taxes the first time, when he was the only entrepreneur, I was like, how much did you spend in this? How much did you spend in that? And sure enough, he had no answers. And he's not the only entrepreneur that does it. And so that's why we've also been so successful to take that off of entrepreneurs.
Well, you're showing him how to write off his life, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
As much as we can legally, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, write off your trips, people. Like when I traveled up here from Vegas, wrote off all the fuel ups and everything like that, even some meals. And now that's in the Expensify app. If you don't have that, recommend you downloading that.
And the big key with that is just make sure that you have the plan for it to be business on that trip. Before you even go on the trip. That is the key to writing any trip off, is making sure that you have a plan for business before you even start traveling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll write in the description, travel to this event at this place on this date. And then I show that to the CPA, and then he's like, oh, okay, that's what it was for. I'm like, and then you look at the timing of the receipts. So the timing of the receipts, and it has to be itemized.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be itemized. Like, try not to do screenshots of your bank statements or your bank transactions. Like it's got to be itemized for stuff like that.
Yeah, and it is a mix. It depends on what your business is and all of that too, and how you work with your CPA. If you have everything in QuickBooks Online or one of the many bookkeeping softwares that are still just as great, if not better sometimes, you can already have that itemized. And with your attached receipt, sometimes your bank transactions on your bank statement are enough for people though. So it's just really depending on you and your tax strategy.
Oh, for sure. So when you do your bookkeeping, do you also do CPA services?
I am not a tax preparer or a CPA. I'm studying for my EA or enrolled agent. But that won't be until next year, and I'm really only doing it for advisory services to really partner with other CPAs. Yeah,
you don't want to increase your stress, right? Especially in April. Everybody is filing last minute.
Yes. That said, I do tend to attract a lot of those solopreneurs, and those are the easier tax returns that I might be able to help here and there.
Yeah. And when you say solopreneurs, are you talking about like rideshare drivers and like those type of independent contracting service-based services? Or
sometimes I tend to have like when I say solopreneur, I mean like you're the only person in your business. So a lot of my clients tend to be creatives and service-based. So it is your graphic designer. I only want to be one graphic designer. I don't really want anybody on my team, or maybe I'll outsource some of the other stuff to other companies.
No, absolutely. And then your P strategy, it's profits, energy, alignment, clarity, ease.
capacity and ease.
Oh. Okay.
So close, so close. And that's totally okay. So the peace strategy, I have a book coming out here shortly, and it's Build the Business That Loves You Back, the peace strategy. So it's about a clear path to profits, boundaries, and ease. I do mostly focus on women because that's my story. That said, it's all welcome for all genders. And so, because it does apply to everybody, but my whole thing is putting our family first. How do we build our business around school drop-offs and extracurriculars and all those things, aging parents, whatever your story might be, it can absolutely be applied to you. So it's profit. So that's really more focused on profit first. How do we pay ourselves first? E is for energy. What fuels us and what drains us? How are our offers absolutely fueling us, and what parts of our offers are draining us, and what can we let go of? And that leads into alignment. Who are we serving? How are we serving them? And how are we serving ourselves in this so that we are aligned? How are we aligned with our values as well? And so if I have to make sure that I'm there for school drop-off, can I start my day at 10 a.m. and that be totally okay? And how do we align all of our offers with that, as well as our clients? And if our clients don't understand the fact that we don't start until 10 a.m. that day, then we have to rehome them to somewhere else. Our capacity. How do we build our business around our actual life? When I first started my business, I only had 8 hours a week during nap time. And I replaced my husband's income during that time too. So what is our true capacity? So if we want to be a mom first, if we need to take care for our parents first, if we need to put our 9 to 5 first, what does that look like? What is our true capacity? What's our dream schedule? That's where that capacity comes in. As well as, I'm going through some mental health issues. So I really only have the mental capacity to put 4 hours towards my business every week. How do I build a business around that? And then the final one is ease. How do we make all of this easier? How do we create the right systems? How do we utilize maybe some AI? How do we utilize the right softwares without taking too much from profit to maximize our time and all of these other pillars? But when it comes to ease, my most important system that I say for all of this is our emotional system. Who is our number one supporter that's going to cheer us on or make us better? So, because sometimes we don't need you got this. We need are you sure you want to do that? And that's where that emotional system, I think, is most important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have your health and your mind right, then you're not going to do your business very well.
No, not at all. So the P strategy is very much values alignment with your money, with your business foundation.
I mean, it's a great acronym and it makes sense. You got to put your mind at peace. And then you just mentioned it. So it's profits. Again. Profits, energy, alignment, oh my goodness.
It's okay. Clarity was one of the things that we talked about.
I'll edit that part out. So it's profits, energy, alignment, capacity, and ease.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the peace strategy, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, I've never heard anything mentioned like that, and that was actually one of the reasons I wanted her to speak at one of these events, because I was like, okay, that is pretty fascinating stuff. And the attendees really did get value out of your speech.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were really happy to hear from you, and just this is what keeps people like that coming back too, because they know they learn things at these events, and then for people like yourself, you get to network with these people and get to know who they are. And what's great is they're not there talking about politics or any of this news BS. What they're here to talk about and do is help and figure out how they can get help in their businesses and with each other's businesses. And that's really what networking events should be about. You have business cards, it's great, but just don't force it down people's throats right away. Just have them, but you can always ask, how's your family? So I don't know if you've heard of this one. The acronym that I learned from my mentor is Family, Occupation, Recreation, Motives. It's FORM, and that means it's good to ask them, where are you from? Are you close to your family? To start, then ask what they do as occupation.
Interesting.
Then for recreation, what do you like to do outside of your business? And for motives, what drives you to do it every day and keeps you going?
Yes.
It's fascinating stuff. I mean, I'm really thankful for these people.
I think that's a really great way to start conversations. I think one of my favorite questions that I like to ask is, what's something exciting you've been working on? It's just simple. It gets your answer of what do they do, but also like really what is exciting to them, and then their face lights up when they think about it.
Well, I'm gonna try that next time myself as well with that same question. So I appreciate that. And it could throw some people off at first because they're not used to being asked that, but then at least they know that, okay, well, wow, this guy actually wants to know more than just what I do. I was expecting that question and I got something else, and now I got to formulate an answer and, just be real. Yeah, exactly. So what excites you, or what do you say?
What's your most exciting thing you've been
What's your most exciting thing you've been working on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great question. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then, so you've been doing this business for 5 years.
Yep.
And what is your favorite part about the business? Like, where do you get the most satisfaction personally from your people? Like, what is it they say or do, or how they react? Like, what is it that really drives you to keep this going with your people?
A lot of things have been happening more recently. One of them that we're really pushing towards is more advisory. It's not just the taking the bookkeeping off of their plate, it's the understanding of the books that I've really found that's where people are the most successful. And so that has been pushing people to really understand their numbers, giving them more confidence and clarity around that. But a couple weeks ago, my client actually said to me, we were talking about just everything that's going on in her business, and I was just like really questioning some of her decisions that she was making. And the biggest compliment she could have ever given me, and maybe she knows, maybe she doesn't, was like, this is like money therapy. And I was like, oh, that just lights my whole world up, basically.
Never heard of that one. I love that.
Because there's just a lot more questions that I go into that are much more emotionally rooted than just, okay, how are we going to make the next $100,000?
Yeah, exactly. You got to get down to root causes, right?
Yep.
Because, I mean, we all do want to hit 6 figures, 7 figures, but, like, you got to take little incremental steps to get towards that.
Yes.
And I actually have some businesses I'm about to invest in some shares in. They're parts of breweries that are not exactly where I live, but places I visit when I travel.
Yep.
And they have offers, $1 per share. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so that's like... one of the things I'm working on for other sources of investment income. And I'm going to have to talk to my CPA about, how do I file now that I'm a part business owner? I've never done that in my life.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, because the business I just have is Nevada Entrepreneurs LLC,
right.
But I've never owned portions of another business. So do you have any piece of advice when it comes to bookkeeping for that kind of thing?
I mean, track everything, right? And separate business from personal, and separate the businesses as much as possible.
Yeah.
That said, there are ways to protect yourself in so many ways. So you have an LLC, that's a big step in the right direction. Sometimes it's the LLC that invests in the other companies as well. And so that would just be the question of, does it make more sense for me personally to invest? Or does it make more sense for me to have an LLC that invests into the company?
Now that one I gotta figure out, because I've never done that, so I'm gonna have to like really get a better understanding of that and get into some deeper conversations.
Yes, and the whole idea behind that is that why we separate our business and our personal is if for any reason, knock on wood, the business were to be sued, then your personal assets can't get pulled into that. So it's all about protecting, and that's why we also don't commingle our bank accounts as well.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the reasons why I love Profit First too, is because it forces us to have many bank accounts.
I do have a business bank account checking right now, and so that's with Bank of America. That came after the LLC got filed.
Yeah.
So I've got a separate one right now, and that is a really good point about the suing. If the business gets sued, I'll have to learn how do I get the LLC to invest in the portions of the brewery and I would love to do that before I do it, obviously, but it'll just make things easier for me, because I was not, I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, what if the business gets sued? Okay, maybe I own a very small portion of it, and I don't know how much of my assets they come after if it's a very small portion, but I'd rather not take any of that chance.
Right.
So I really appreciate you telling me about that. And then you told me you had the two businesses. Is one of them your husband's business with you? That, because you said you had replaced his income.
Yep.
And then now you have the two
businesses
together with him. One together with him and this one yourself, or both of him?
So technically, when it comes to the two of us, KC Virtual Bookkeeping is mine. Caldwell Training is his. We do believe that those are our businesses. That said, we're a two entrepreneur household, so of course we have conversations around our business. We have say in that. But in the state of Nevada, when you're married, you own that. So that's why when women come to me, they're like, "Oh, I'm getting married and I'm a business owner." I'm like, prenup. Because of that, and for no reason, I believe in love. Love is amazing, and I love my husband. We are not going anywhere. But especially as women, we have to protect ourselves. But as business owners, even more so. So, in the state of Nevada, when we both switched to S corps, we were married at the time. We officially became co-owners of our businesses. That said, how we treat our businesses is very much, this is my business, this is your business. Okay, yeah. So, because I mean, I would imagine that, like, in certain marriages, it's like, well, we should be married as a couple, but maybe we shouldn't be owning a business together. Sometimes they do that because it's like one person is really bad with finances and might spend too much business income on personal stuff, and then it's a tax mess. But it's like, it sounds like with you and your husband, you have that trust with each other. And so I think
that's a big part of it in business.
Partnerships, whether they be business partnerships or emotional partnerships or both together, there is always an agreement of some kind. I actually have a friend that I used to play hockey with that she and her husband actually every single year on their anniversary would write a new contract for the following year. This is my agreement that it's my turn to do this, it's your turn to do that, this is how we're going to communicate, blah, blah, blah.
So it's like a way of renewing vows.
Basically. But they do it in like an actual contract, which I thought was super fun. I don't do that with my husband, but I think it's cool. But it's this, so business partnerships have the same divorce rate as marriages. 50% of them work, 50% of them don't. And in fact, I think business partnerships are higher, which is why you have
75% for entrepreneurs.
So that's why you have a higher that's why you need those contracts, those understandings. So any sort of big transition like this, you have to have those conversations around, okay, what is that? That said, with businesses, because I have the conversations around profit first and how to set up your cash flow system, not necessarily just the bookkeeping and the accounting, the cash flow system, I will have conversations with partners together, whether they, again, business or marriage, whatever that might be, like who gets the final say, or how are we going to come to these answers, and how do you make these decisions
and
together?
What roles does each person have in the business? Because maybe the guy does 80%, she does 20, or vice versa. I mean, because it really depends on who knows more about what subject and who can do what task better than the other. Because I have friends that they talk about, so one of them is a wedding photographer around the world, and she is a corporate attorney. They're based out of here, and what they do, what she says all the time is, I think she said he was the right brain and she was the left brain in their business. So I found that concept really interesting. Because it's like, we're not all wired the same, and that's part of why I am talking about this the way I am, because we're not all wired the same. You can't expect every couple to do the businesses the exact same way between the husband and wife, because there's things she knows that he's bad at, and there's things he's really good at that she's not very good at.
Well, and that leads to, there's a book called Rocket Fuel, I'm forgetting the author, but it's about the implementer and the visionary. And between the two of them, you create the rocket fuel.
Yeah.
And so you need to have those two people together.
Yes.
Like that's the whole part of a partnership and marriage or anything like that, is you need each other to make each other better, no matter what.
Yeah. Your kids need it too.
Yes. And that's what some people think the issue with ChatGPT is, because like Chat's always like, yeah, you got this great idea. But in reality, we need our friends and human people to be like, are you sure?
Yeah, well, I keep hearing.
Does that make sense?
Well, now I keep hearing about people using ChatGPT as their lawyer in cases.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that just sounds
Scary.
like such a wild concept to me.
I mean, it works in some cases, but ultimately, Chat is known for hallucinating. And I would take everything it says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I only use it for creating flyers for the events. So I'll tell it create an image of this and that, and then it actually does it pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
So it makes the flyers better and more appealing, because for event hosting, you got to have an appealing way of telling people, hey, this is why you should come, and or this is what you should come to, why you should come. So I only use it for that, but I don't use it for like any case or anything. Like I have a friend who said she was using it because she was suing a guy for stealing her business idea. And it sounds like it's been successful for her, but it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Well, I think anything with ChatGPT, for it to be successful, is a lot of work. You have to put all the right information in. You have to know how to prompt it. You have to say, like, acting as my lawyer, this, and then you have to give it all of these different prompts, and if you have to prompt it correctly.
Yeah, it might be saving you money, but it might be also inducing stress later on with other problems.
Yeah, not to mention it might cost you more money in the long run, especially as a lawyer.
Exactly.
I definitely would be do not use it as a lawyer, do not use it for your contracts, no. Maybe negotiation here and there, but not necessarily for contract writing or a lawyer.
Well, and that goes to original reason why I even started hosting these events. I wanted to find various people in various professions I could trust, and people that all bring good energy to a room and have good intentions, are not a bunch of bottom feeder transactional people. I've now found a mortgage guy I can trust, realtors I can trust, a chiropractor, because I moved to Vegas only 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's like I wanted to find a bunch of business owners I could trust without having to go through a bunch of Google searching, review searching, and meet them in person. And it's been really paying off. Yeah. So that's like a big part of what community building really is. It's like, you want to find your people, and you want to find people that you do align with. Yes. That you can be at peace with. So how much of a difference in your own life has your bookkeeping services made for you, and how much money do you think you've saved on your expenses with like your businesses and everything like that since you started? Yeah, so I've always been kind of frugal when it comes to, and very questioning with what expenses come through. My biggest thing that we start with when you start working with me as a client is your peace point. What are your expenses right now? Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, biannually, whatever it is, we write it down, and writing down those expenses. If you go based on Profit First in their studies, every single business owner, if they have not been keeping track of their expenses, could cut 10% of their expenses today. Wow. 10%. That's a lot. I mean, think about if they break in $10 million gross a year, they're cutting in $1 million. Yeah. I mean, think about that for a second. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a 10%. Lot of money. That sounds small, but when you really think about it, it's really not. Yeah. It might be small to someone who makes like, I don't know, $10,000 a year in the business. Well, yeah, but if we're still talking, the majority of business owners, we aim for that new business owners, let's say, are aiming for the six figures. That's $1,000 excess. Like that $1,000, especially to somebody that's making $100,000, that's a lot of money. And if we're talking Profit First percentages, $50,000 of that should be going directly into your pocket. So where are you spending where you're ultimately just stealing from yourself?
So that was the big change for me in profit first, and then P strategy. I kind of have done it since the beginning because I started my business with only 8 hours. My capacity was only 8 hours, and so I really just have built my business around that. And then my big thing with all of this though is that our seasons change. Sometimes our values and our goals change, and that's completely okay. We just have to start shifting our business and pivoting for those different changes as well.
So that's what inspired the P strategy then?
Yes.
Because you were saying it was your capacity was 8 hours, and you wanted to make sure that you did not feel like you were forced to go over your capacity in any way, shape, or form. Because I mean, there's a lot of business owners that say that, but then they have to force themselves to do like 12 hours.
Yes.
And then they're just ruining themselves, not getting enough sleep and all that.
Right. Which is where the question or the line in the book essentially says the only time hustling is allowed is when it's in alignment, when it makes sense for you and your season right now. So like, to give you an idea, my son is going off to kindergarten. My husband and I are having conversations about me working more full time or doing a little bit of mix of both. What does that look like? He is growing in his business as well. So which of us needs to take the turn so that we can still be present for our son?
Yeah.
So like, what makes most sense for us in this big pivot time of, does it make sense for us, or is the answer just not right now?
No, absolutely. Are you originally from Reno?
I'm originally from Southern California. I've lived all over the country. I went to San Jose State, and my husband's originally from the Bay Area. He also has lived all over the country. But ultimately, when we were looking for places to live, because we were not in love with the Bay Area, was that when I first came to Reno, it felt like the Midwest, but it had mountains. And that was what I needed. Mountains are very important to me.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable for me too.
Yes.
We live near some big ones where I'm at in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So Spring Mountains, those go up to 11,000 feet.
Yep.
And there is a ski resort there. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
It's not the best snow, but it's convenient.
Yes.
It takes an hour flat from my apartment. It's really easy. So you moved to Nevada was one of the reasons the no state income tax?
No, I mean, a lot. Yes, that's definitely a benefit. But no, I mean, ultimately, we were looking at the time. We were just looking for a slower pace of life. We were looking for. We needed to be by mountains, and we were looking for. Where was the best place to raise our son too? And I loved the Midwest. I loved living in the Midwest, but I would literally joke. I'd take a ride on my bike, and I'd get like the 1% incline, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I found a mountain!" And I would literally come home just to go to the mountains. I remember coming home one weekend literally just to go to Yosemite.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part about living there, and we found our people here.
Yeah.
It's very small business oriented
closer
here.
To family.
It's closer to family, so it's just and our family has moved with us too. So we just love it here.
Nice.
And that was one of the reasons when we chose Reno too was the close to family as well. But then they ended up moving with us. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and then what part of the Midwest did you live in? Because I'm originally from just outside Chicago.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So my best friend actually lives just outside Chicago now. And so does my mother-in-law's best friend. But I lived on the border of Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota in the Sioux cities.
Oh, so you were in way farther out from there, like the middle of the Midwest.
Yes. I've also lived in Champaign, Illinois. So
my dad and mom met there. They went to school at U of I.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I did an internship there. So.
Oh, nice. And so you were going out there for school or just a change of pace, cheaper living?
Work, my previous life. So Champaign was when I did an internship at the Midwestern Regional Climate Center.
Oh, nice.
And then when I was in the Sioux cities, I was on TV as a meteorologist there.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I saw something about you with the weather.
Yes.
Do you still do some meteorology?
Every once in a while. In fact, this weekend I'll be on TV.
I saw you on I was like, what? Kayla's predicting the forecast.
Yeah, so my actual degree is in meteorology. So
great.
this weekend I just fill in for vacations now. So
that's cool.
On KTVN Channel 2, I'll be on this weekend.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so I just fill in for vacations when they need me. But otherwise, they have a full meteorology team.
So you're a part-time weather girl too.
Yep.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right.
Meteorologist, but yes, because I actually spent a lot of money for that meteorology degree.
Oh no, I get. But there's a lot of people are like meteorologists. They just how they call you
weather forecaster.
Yeah, weather forecaster. That's even better. I mean, especially if you're looking at Tahoe, that can be unpredictable.
Yeah, mountain weather is fun.
Yeah. Your book. Yes. What is it called and when will it be released?
Yeah, The Peace Strategy, Build a Business That Finally Loves You Back, and it will be released on October 1st. You can join the book launch team at thepeacestrategy.com, thepeacestrategy.com, all one word. And you just put your name and your email in and you'll be part of the book launch team. Ultimately, over the next month, you'll get a whole bunch of goodies. You'll get my starter kit for free for being part of the book launch team. You'll get a huge, the intro. You'll actually get early access to the book as well. And a whole bunch of other goodies in that book launch team. And I'm also doing a couple raffles. So if you share the book, you bring people to the school community, which is the other big thing that we have. So you'll be able to interact, and we'll have the CEO roundtable on the 3rd, I believe, or the 2nd. I haven't fully decided what day that's going to be, just because I want to make sure everybody on the book launch team has a chance to get there. So if you're in the community, you get to vote on when that's going to happen. And what that's going to be is an hour discussion with your fellow CEOs around what is your enough. Because that's ultimately what we're building towards, is what is your enough. And that's all what chapter 12 is about. And that's mostly inspired by Morgan Housewell's Psychology of Money. And the idea is that we're continually moving the goalpost and we're never celebrating in that time that we actually wish we had at that time, as well as it's never actually enough. So we actually are going to build that for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Is this your first book?
This is my first book. Most likely going to be the last, but I'm a firm believer of never say never. Because it was hard. It was not an easy task for me to just sit down and write. But I'm very proud of the fact that I actually sat and did it, and I'm very excited to share this. But like I said, I'm never going to say never, because I've done a lot of things that I used to say I'd never do.
No, there you go. How many pages is your book?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know yet. So,
okay. So is it not finished then?
We finished the line edit. We're now in the visual edit, meaning they're just placing everything on the pages into a PDF. So I don't know how many exact pages it is. If I just start from the intro to a conclusion in a Google Doc, it's about 80 pages.
Okay.
So it's a nice short and sweet book. You should be able to read it in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. And
there will also be an audiobook.
That's great. So. Audiobooks help with people that are driving a lot and travel a lot for work. So that actually helps a ton, having an audiobook.
On the book launch day, I'm going to ask you to buy the Kindle version, though. It's going to be like $2 or $3. I mean, as cheap as I can make it, basically, not make any money.
That's pretty reasonable.
So that we can get as many people, this book in as many people's hands. And I also might throw in a little deal, like if you buy 5 books and share it with your friends, the actual physical books, I'll get you a free 90-minute strategy session or something with me. So.
Hey, that's not bad at all. That's a lot of value right there, people.
Yeah, you gotta get a book launch team to get that access.
No, of course.
Yeah.
No, that's great. How many members are in your book launch team so far?
As of right now, I'd say about 50 or so.
That's a pretty good number.
On my Instagram, I do also have an Instagram handled The Peace Strategy. And there's about 20 people there, but of course I've got family and friends that just haven't followed me there yet.
Okay. No, that's great. So the book is getting traction.
Yes.
And you must be pretty excited for the release.
I am. I'm very excited. I've got some big goals for it to be bestseller in women in business, specifically on Amazon. And I think that's my big reach goal. So if I get that, I'll be ecstatic. But of course, we're going for other categories too.
You got some pretty good women entrepreneur groups out here already. Yes. I mean, it's even in the Instagram handles for both these people.
Yes.
So you can't miss it. But Yeah, it's definitely a strong female entrepreneur community in Reno for sure, and it's cool that you all have each other's backs like this.
Yeah.
Is there any closing messages you want to leave for your people over here, your supporters?
I just hope that you're building a peaceful business and life. That's it.
Okay, awesome. Well, so where can they find you?
Yeah, so at the Peace Strategy on Instagram and at KCV Bookkeeping. So KC Virtual Bookkeeping, so KCV Bookkeeping. That's where I'm most active. ThePeaceStrategy.com is how you get on the book launch team. If you catch this after the book launch, it's totally okay. You'll still get some goodies if you go there first. And you can, of course, those are the easiest ways to reach out to me. But of course, support at KCVirtualBookkeeping.com is another great way if you just have some big questions that you want to reach out. KCVirtualBookkeeping.com is also where you can book a free consultation.
That's great. There you go. And then you can find myself at Instagram.com/Nevada_entrepreneurs. The out-of-state events are Impact Social Nights, like when we're in Phoenix, and then Nevada-entrepreneurs.com, but that's about to change soon with our friend from Maslow Creative. So I'll let you know that one soon. But that's where you can find myself. I'm Dylan Rosner. This is Kayla Caldwell. And thank you all for watching. And thank you, Kayla, for being on this.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, for sure.